everyone. Welcome to the second week of online school. This is an old picture that I have of me at the Arizona crater. This was caused about 50,000 years ago. The diameter of this crater, just to kind of give you a idea, is about 0.74 miles across. It's about 560 feet deep. It was caused by a meteor impact around 50,000 years ago. If you're ever driving between here and Flagstaff, it's a great place to stop off and see. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit later as we go through our moon slides. And today we're going to be finishing the moon slides. So what I want to start off with, again, I'm putting this document on Google Classroom. It is an overview for the entire week, and it's another way to access the information you need. One of the things you need to do is keep working on your moon observations every day. You can use this web page here to find what phase of the moon there is. Your weekly Achieve article is called Pluto, Full of Surprises. You're going to be doing on Monday moon slides 64 through 77, and you're going to turn in what's called a tied worksheet. On Tuesday, we're going to be doing a different slide, and we're going to be starting to learn about planets in our solar system, and so you'll do slides 1 through 8. And you'll be looking at patterns, and I'll show you a video for that. You're going to be turning this into Google Classroom. On Wednesday, you're going to do slides 9 through 19. These questions here will be turned into Google Classroom, and I'll have a video to kind of help you with that. And then on Thursday, there is you're going to do slides 20 through 24 and complete the astronomy doodle notes and turn them in. Fridays, there are no additional homework assignments. You are to finish all the work, and all that work will be due by the following Monday by 12 p.m., okay? So again, please don't forget to do that. Oh, by the way, we will have a Zoom meeting on Tuesday, April 21st, okay? So let me pull up the slides. Oh, I'm sorry, before we do that, let me talk about your moon phase calendar. Again, you should be adding to this every day. Let's say that you forgot a day or you can't see the moon. What you should do is go to this link, and I will have that linked every day on Google Classroom. And you can actually kind of move through it and find the day. So let me click on this. You can find the day of the week. Okay, there it is. So today is the 19th, which is Sunday, but tomorrow's the 21st, and you're going to start to notice that the moon will rise about 5:40 a.m. and set about 5:47 p.m. So you're going to be able to see it in the daytime, and what's going to happen is there's only a sliver of it, a real small sliver, and it's going to be on the left side, but a real small sliver. And then what's going to happen is on the 22nd, you are going to have what's called a new moon. And you're not going to be able to see the moon until the daytime, but you won't see it. So you're not going to see any light, and you'll just either take a picture or draw what that moon is. There are other websites that actually have pictures of that, and I think this one, so if you look at the top of it, again, if you didn't do it, you can actually draw this picture here into your day, okay? And so tonight, which is Sunday, there's only about 9.2% of the moon that is going to be visible. And so we're going to new moon, and to think about it, the moon, the earth, what's going to happen is the sun is here, the moon is going to start to be in between the earth, and then the earth is on the outside. So again, we can't really see the moon. When we get into a new moon, you're going to see it more in the daytime, and you're not going to see a lot of light. So again, continue to fill out that sheet. and do a good job. Learn from it. It's a cool thing to do. So today, let me move this here out of the way. So today you're going to have some slides. Let me move these over here to the side. And it's just going to be like wrapping up some of the moon information. So I kind of want to go over some of this. So for your information, and this is going to freak you out, I hope, okay? The Earth-Moon system is always evolving. It's not staying in the same orbit or rotation. Now, the moon is moving outwards away from the Earth every year, and actually a couple of inches. Now, the Earth is slowing down every year, and eventually the moon will only see one face of the Earth. Okay, so, and then the time scale for this to occur is like 50 billion years from now. So again, the moon is moving away from the Earth. Kind of cool, huh? To think about. Let's see here. Now, this picture here is a moon, a picture of the moon from the Mars Express. Again, my moon is real small, 1/4 the size. And let me put that in yellow. See, 1/4 the diameter of the Earth. Now, if the Earth were in the moon if the Earth and Moon were instead side by side, you can actually see again the diameters is 1/4 the size. Okay. Now there is some parts of the moon. If you look at on full moon in another 2 weeks, you can see a dark area that's called Mar, and in Spanish Mar is sea. And then you have the highlands, which are kind of like areas that are kind of mountainous. Now, the geology, the type of landscape that is older is going to be the highlands because they're more cratered, okay? The Mar is younger. Now, when I zoom in, again, the smoother, darker terrain, this part here, is caused by volcanic activity, and that's the lunar marea. Now, this is a crater here, and we're going to talk about some of those crater impacts. Now, the lunar marea is smoother and darker terrain caused by volcanic activity. So on Earth, we have volcanoes, and we have volcanoes here. Well, on the moon, they have volcanoes too. Now, the lava also can come out of fissures, so little cracks, just like on Earth. And then in the lunar highlands, which are the older part of the moon, you have more rugged, bright terrain caused by meteor collisions. Okay. Now, the next part of the slides is going to be about tides. Now, because we live in Montrose, we're not near the ocean, and so you probably don't notice tides, but tides are caused by the pull of the moon's gravity on Earth. We have a high tide and a low tide each day. Now, the side facing the moon and the side away from the moon will get the high tide, and in most places, not all, but most, every 12 hours and 25 and a half minutes, you'll have a high tide. And so your high tide and your low tides will change every day depending on where you're at. Now, the low tides tend to be on the sides of the Earth where the moon is not. So right here is high tide, and over here is low tide. And you'll notice the moon is right here. Well, what's happening is the moon's gravitational pull is pulling the ocean towards it. And it causes two bulges, a high tide on the side near it and a high tide away from it. Now, there's going to be some videos. I want you to watch that tide video so you can understand that a little bit. And now this slide here kind of explains it again. Here's our moon. And what happens is the moon's gravity is pulling the ocean towards it. And on the opposite side of the Earth, for some reason, the water is also a high tide here. So it's high tide here and high tide here. Now, on the sides, you will have your low tides. Now, again, I said most places have two high tides and two low tides a day. Now, so again, there are 2 high tides a day and 2 low tides a day in most places. Now, there's another video I want you to watch because it'll also help you understand this. Watch this more on tides. And then to summarize, here's some moon takeaway messages that I want you to understand. Now, the phases of the moon are caused by the relative locations of the Earth, the moon, and the sun, and that also affects tides. The sun can pull the water, but because the moon is closer, we have tides because of the moon's location. Now, tides are caused by the gravitational pull of the moon. The moon is in synchronous rotation. We only see one of its faces. Now, that doesn't, we only see one of the faces. We never see the far side of the moon. Now, the moon was formed by a giant collision, followed by the collection of impact debris. That's a theory. Okay, we don't know for sure, but that's a theory. Now, geology on the moon is controlled by collisions and also volcanism, but the volcanism is different from that on the Earth. It's similar, but quite different. And now, cratering on the moon can be used to understand collision rates in the solar system. So, now your homework today is going to be this tides assessment. It's not actually a test, it's more of a worksheet. And so you're going to go through and you're going to fill this out. You can look up this information online, or you could have gotten it from the videos. And so there are some versions that are modified. Again, the answer keys are here, so you can actually take the answer keys and answers and write them in. So again, you can Google this information. This needs to be turned into Google Classroom. I'll have a video for you tomorrow, and don't forget we have a Zoom conference. Bye.